ever wondered what monsters lurked in the deep long before the first humans walked the earth? We're talking about the incredible marine dinosaurs, the undisputed rulers of the prehistoric oceans, from the colossal Mosasaur with its double-hinged jaw to the long-necked Plesiosaur gracefully gliding through the water. These creatures were the apex predators of their time. They were bigger, fiercer, and more awe-inspiring than almost anything in our oceans today. For millions of years, they dominated a world teeming with life, a vibrant underwater kingdom. But then, in a geological blink of an eye, they vanished, gone, wiped from the face of the planet. What could possibly be powerful enough to bring down these titans of the sea? For decades, paleontologists have been piecing together this epic cold case, a mystery 66 million years in the making. And today, we're diving deep to uncover the truth. What really killed the marine dinosaur? The answer is more complex and far more dramatic than you might think. So, let's set the scene. It's the end of the Cretaceous period. The oceans are warm, shallow, and full of life. Giant ammonites with spiral shells drift through the currents. Schools of ancient fish shimmer in the sunlight filtering from above. And ruling over it all are the marine reptiles. The ichthyosaurs, shaped like dolphins, dart through the water with incredible speed. The plesiosaurs, often called the T-Rex of the sea, use their massive jaws to hunt just about anything they want. Life seems eternal, a perfectly balanced ecosystem that has thrived for eons. But this oceanic paradise was on the brink of total collapse. This wasn't just a bad day for a few species. It was a global catastrophe known as the Cretaceous-Paleogene Extinction Event, or the KPG extinction. It didn't just wipe out the Nanavian dinosaurs on land, it annihilated nearly 75% of all life on Earth, including our magnificent marine reptiles. The fossil record tells a chilling story. In rock layers below a certain point, we find an abundance of marine reptile fossils. Above that line, they're gone. It's a sudden, stark disappearance that points to a cataclysm of unimaginable scale. For a long time, the exact cause was the subject of fierce debate, a whodunit of planetary proportions. Now, let's talk about the prime suspect. Theory number 1. The asteroid impact. This is the theory most of us are familiar with. The idea is that a massive asteroid, estimated to be about 10 kilometers or 6 miles wide, slammed into the Earth. It struck what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, creating the giant Chicxulub crater. The impact itself would have been beyond catastrophic. Imagine the energy of billions of nuclear bombs going off at once. This would have triggered mega tsunamis. Waves hundreds of meters high, sweeping across coastlines and scouring the shallow seas where many marine reptiles lived and hunted. The immediate devastation would have been immense. But the real killer was the aftermath. The impact blasted an enormous amount of dust, soot, and vaporized rock into the atmosphere. This colossal cloud would have enveloped the globe, blocking out the sun for months, maybe even years. This is what scientists called an impact winter. Without sunlight, the foundation of the entire marine food web, phytoplankton, would have died off en masse. These are the tiny microscopic plants that perform photosynthesis. Just like plants on land, they are the food for tiny animals called zooplankton, which are then eaten by small fish, which are in turn eaten by larger fish, and so on. All the way up to the apex predators, like when the phytoplankton disappeared, the entire food chain collapsed like a house of cards. It was a global starvation event for the large marine reptiles that needed vast amounts of food to survive. This was a death sentence. There was simply nothing left to eat. The oceans, once teeming with life, became a barren, toxic graveyard. But the asteroid isn't the only culprit in our lineup. Enter theory number 2. Massive volcanic activity. While the asteroid gets most of the attention, some scientists point to a different kind of disaster, one that was already brewing long before the impact. On the other side of the world, in what is now India, a region known as the Deccan Traps was experiencing one of the largest volcanic eruptions in Earth's history. This wasn't just one volcano. It was a massive volcanic province that spewed lava and gas for thousands of years. The sheer volume of lava was staggering, enough to cover an area the size of France several kilometers deep. But it wasn't the lava that caused the global problem. It was the gas. These volcanoes released immense quantities of sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The sulfur dioxide would have created acid rain, which would have fallen into the oceans, dramatically changing their chemistry. This process, called ocean acid, makes it difficult for organisms like plankton, corals, and ammonites to build their shells and skeletons. As these crucial base-level species struggled and died off, the food web would have started to unravel from the bottom up long before the asteroid even arrived. The carbon dioxide, on the other hand, is a greenhouse gas. Over the long term, this would have caused significant global warming, altering ocean temperatures and circulation patterns. The marine reptiles, adapted to a stable climate for millions of years, would have found their worlds becoming increasingly hostile and unpredictable. So, could these hellish volcanoes, and not an impact from space, be the real killer? It's a compelling argument suggesting a slow, agonizing death for the oceans rather than a sudden knockout punch. So, was it the asteroid? A sudden, brutal blow from the heavens? Or was it the volcanoes? A slow poison seeping from the earth itself? For years, scientists in each camp defended their theories fiercely. It was the impact versus the eruptions. But what if the answer isn't one or the other? What if the real story is even more terrifying? Increasingly, the scientific community is moving towards a new consensus. It wasn't a single event, but a devastating 1-2 punch, a confluence of catastrophes. The picture that's emerging is this: the Earth's ecosystems, particularly the oceans, were already in deep trouble. The massive long-term eruptions from the Deccan Traps had already begun to poison the seas and destabilize the climate. Marine life was stressed. The food webs were becoming fragile. The great marine reptiles might have already been struggling, their populations perhaps dwindling. They were standing on the edge of a cliff. And then, at this moment of extreme vulnerability, the Chicxulub asteroid struck. It was the final knockout blow to an ecosystem that was already on the ropes. The impact winter and the collapse of photosynthesis were too much for the already weakened marine world to handle. The mega tsunamis, the immediate darkness, and the subsequent starvation event finished the job that the volcanoes had started. It was the worst possible scenario. A planet already sickened by its own internal turmoil, then hit by a cosmic catastrophe. This combined theory explains the evidence we see in the fossil record so well. It accounts for the signs of environmental stress we see in rocks leading up to the extinction boundary, and it explains the sudden, dramatic finality of the extinction itself. The marine dinosaurs didn't stand a chance. They were caught in the crossfire of two of the most powerful destructive forces our planet has ever known. It's a sobering reminder of how interconnected and fragile life can be, even for the most dominant creatures on Earth. The story of the marine dinosaurs is more than just a tale of ancient monsters. It's a profound lesson about life, extinction, and the forces that shape our planet. Their 150 million year reign was brought to an end by a perfect storm of terrestrial and extraterrestrial events. A powerful reminder that no dominion is permanent. The clues were buried in rock layers, hidden in the chemistry of ancient shells, and printed in the shape of a massive crater. By piecing them together, we've solved one of paleontology's greatest mysteries. The case of the killed marine dinosaurs is, for now, closed. Their demise paved the way for the rise of new forms of life. Without these giant reptiles ruling the seas, mammals like whales and dolphins eventually had the chance to evolve and claim the oceans for themselves. The world we live in today was forged in the crucible of this ancient apocalypse. What do you think about this epic story of planetary disaster? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our amazing planet. Thanks for watching.